As things currently stand, it's a three-horse race for the 2022 League MVP between Joel Embiid, Giannis, and Nikola Jokic. It's a heated debate between many basketball fans, and I have a pretty good sense of where most media members are leaning. But if I had a vote, I would be going with the Joker, Nikola Jokic. I could simply state that he's having a historic season, and yes, that would be true, but it also would be underselling it. Simply put, in case you haven't noticed, the Joker is having one of the greatest basketball seasons of all time, and it seems that many of us aren't quite grasping how uniquely great this player is. At the time I'm writing this script, with a shorthanded Nuggets team, he's led his squad to a 45-31 record, which is currently good enough for the 6th seed in the Western Conference. He may not be the most athletically gifted player, but when it comes to his IQ, his skill set, and his fundamentals, there are very few attributes that this superstar lacks. On the year, he's averaging 26.3 points, 13.6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1.4 steals on 57.6% shooting. There are very few areas on the court where he isn't having a significant impact. So far, he has a total of 19 triple-doubles on the year, which other than Wilt Chamberlain is the most in a single season by a center. Along with that, Jokic is also the perfect example of a player who has immense value to his team. For example, only 5 players in NBA history have led their teams in all 5 major stat categories, and that was Dave Cowens in 1978, Scottie Pippen in 1995, Kevin Garnett in 2003, LeBron James in 2009, and Giannis in 2017. Nikola Jokic is about to become the 6th player to do it, as he easily leads his team in every major stat category. But the amazing records only continue from there. As of now, he has the highest single-season player efficiency rating of all time at 32.7. Even if PER isn't your favorite stat, that's still quite remarkable. He's also the only center to ever average at least 25 points per game while averaging at least 6 assists per game, and the Joker is currently averaging 8 assists per game. This level of a dual threat is something that we've never seen from this position. But something that I haven't touched on yet specifically is the ongoing discussion about where he ranks among the greatest passing bigs of all time. As far as I'm concerned, I think Jokic has finally established himself as the best passing big of all time. Sure, there is an argument to be had for Wilt Chamberlain, but if you side with Wilt, then consider this. Over the last 4 seasons combined, Nikola Jokic has averaged 7.6 assists per game. Even the best 4-season stretch from Wilt Chamberlain as a facilitator only amounts to an average of 6.5 assists. So already, Jokic has a statistical advantage, even before you consider the full context of their eras. And when you do consider that, you can clearly see how the advantages were actually in favor of Wilt. Not only was the pace of play much faster in Wilt's days, but during his best facilitating seasons, teams were averaging around 10 to 15 more shot attempts per game. That's a lot of extra opportunities for Wilt to get assists on a nightly basis. Then you have to consider the context of Wilt's mindset at the time he was putting up these assist numbers. The first 4 seasons of Chamberlain's career were his highest scoring years, and he averaged only 2.5 assists during that stretch, and he didn't win any championships during those years. Because of this, Wilt was highly scrutinized by the media and by basketball fans in general, and the narrative was growing that he was a selfish player who didn't know how to get his teammates involved like Bill Russell did, and that's why he couldn't win. Even by the admission of Wilt Chamberlain himself, this narrative infuriated him, which is what motivated him to sacrifice most of his scoring, so that he could instead lead the league in assists. In a way, you could say that Chamberlain played outside of his natural tendencies just to prove a point. The thing is, you can't really say that about Nikola Jokic. These absurd facilitating numbers that he's putting up consistently are all natural results of his game and of his unique talent. There's no agenda or ulterior motive. What he's doing on the court is a product of who he is as a player, and considering how he's only 27 years old, there's no reason to expect that to change anytime soon. Honestly, when you factor everything in, he starts to sound like the easy choice as the greatest passing big of all time. Thanks to the Joker's sound decision making and because of how he frees himself up with his threatening playmaking, he's hitting shots with all-time great efficiency. From the field, he's hitting 57.6%, and no one within the league with a percentage as high as his is within 500 shot attempts of Jokic's total. Hitting that kind of percentage on that kind of volume is absolutely incredible. He's hitting 34.5% from three-point range and an incredible 81.1% from the free throw line. Those three categories add up to a true shooting percentage of 65.8%. That sounds nice, but if you generally don't pay attention to that stat, you may not know how efficient that really is, generally speaking. Well, in terms of true shooting percentage, no center in the history of the NBA has ever averaged as many points as Jokic has this season while being as efficient. Not Kareem, not Hakeem Olajuwon, or Wilt Chamberlain. Absolutely no one. At the very least, there is an argument to be had that this is the most efficient season we've ever seen from the center position. Players like Giannis and Embiid are having incredible seasons of their own and are higher in the playoff seeding, but their team's actual record isn't all that far from the Joker's if their teams were in the same conference. I will say that if Embiid or Giannis end up getting the award instead of the Joker, then this season from Jokic will quickly skyrocket up my list of the greatest MVP snubs of all time. So what do you guys think? Who's your MVP this season? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.